Dear students, in this lecture, we are going to study impurities in the analytical precipitate. So, what type of impurities are formed during the formation of precipitation and why they are formed? So, this is the question, and we are going to solve this question through this lecture. So, once the precipitation is formed, it has to be treated as it can be contaminated. We don't know whether it is contaminated or not contaminated, but we must treat it as it is contaminated. The contamination of a precipitate is due to several reasons. An impurity which is insoluble in the solution under the conditions at which precipitation is carried out naturally contaminates the precipitate. Now see here why there is an contamination takes place. So an impurity which is insoluble in the solution under the condition at which precipitation is carried out naturally contaminates the precipitate. So for example, when silver chloride is precipitated by adding a solution containing silver ions to a solution containing chloride ions, the silver ions are contaminated with silver bromide if bromide ions are present in that solution. So this is because both silver chloride and silver bromide are insoluble under the same condition. So what happened here, if silver chloride is going to be precipitated by adding a solution containing silver ions to a solution containing chloride ions. If suppose a beaker is there and in that beaker chloride ions are there, if along with the chloride ions if bromide ions are there and in that beaker we are going to add a silver ion solution, then during that precipitation process along with the silver chloride the silver bromide is also get precipitated, and the silver chloride and silver bromide both are insoluble under the same conditions. So due to this silver bromide formation during that precipitation there is a contamination along with silver chloride. So thus we must have a prior knowledge of ions present in a solution is absolutely necessary to avoid a simultaneous precipitation. So we must know that solution is free from bromide. Then and then only we are getting a pure silver chloride precipitate. Contamination of a precipitate is mainly due to two reasons. So one is a co-precipitation, second one is post-precipitation. So we must know what is co-precipitation and post-precipitation. So first, what is meant by co-precipitation? So this co-precipitation is a phenomena in which the impurity which is normally soluble is precipitated along with the main precipitate from the solution, even though the solution is not saturated with the co-precipitated species. So what happened here, during this precipitation process in co-precipitation, the impurity which is normally soluble in that solution and it is precipitated along with the precipitate. So just we have seen during the precipitation of silver as a silver chloride, the solution contains bromide and therefore along with silver chloride silver bromide is formed and it is get contaminated. So they have given an example here, addition of barium chloride to a solution of sodium sulfate. Now see here, barium chloride to a solution of sodium sulfate forms a precipitate of barium sulfate which is contaminated with the sodium sulfate although it is soluble in water. So during the formation of barium sulfate as a precipitate, along with the barium sulfate we are getting a sodium sulfate as an contaminated precipitate. The contamination of a precipitate by a substance which are normally soluble in the mother liquor is termed as a co-precipitation. See here, during the formation of precipitate in a mother liquor, if already the solution is present, already the ion is present, along with that ion the contamination is formed. Therefore that precipitation is known as a co-precipitation. So this co-precipitation is because of two reasons. One, it is because of the surface phenomena, or it is because of occlusion and mechanical entrapment. Now see here what is meant by surface phenomena and occlusion. Contamination due to surface adsorption is more prominent for gelatinous and colloidal precipitates. So for gelatinous and colloidal precipitate, the adsorption phenomena, due to adsorption phenomena, the co-precipitation takes place, and for crystalline precipitate it is not dominant. Precipitate with ionic lattices follows Panith-Fajan's Hahn adsorption rule. So now see here what this rule tells us. The ion that is most strongly adsorbed, now see here, the ion that is most strongly adsorbed by an ionic substance is that ion which forms the least soluble salt. Now see here, so through this example you can understand this rule. Now see here the example for sparingly soluble sulfates. It is found that calcium ions are adsorbed preferentially over magnesium ions. Means calcium is adsorbed over magnesium because calcium sulfate is low soluble than magnesium sulfate. Means magnesium sulfate is formed as a precipitate initially. The calcium sulfate is less soluble. Therefore, on the magnesium, the calcium ions get adsorbed. This is a surface phenomenon. Because of that, the co-precipitation takes place. And the rule now I am going to again read it. You will understand now here. The ion means, suppose here calcium that is most strongly adsorbed by an ionic substance, that is magnesium sulfate, okay, is that ion which forms the least soluble salt. Means the calcium is going to adsorb on a magnesium sulfate because this calcium forms a less soluble precipitate. The second type of co-precipitation occurs during building up of the precipitate forms primary particles due to occlusion. Means during this co-precipitation process, second type of co-precipitation process, building up of precipitate forms primary particles due to occlusion. Occlusion is a type of co-precipitation in which an impurity is trapped within a pocket formed with process during rapid crystalline growth. So in occlusion, the impurity is trapped within a pocket which is formed with process during rapid crystal growth. Occlusion takes place when the impurity has a similar size and charge and gets substituted in a lattice crystal of the precipitate. For example, Pb2 plus ions in barium sulfate, SO4 ions in barium chromate. So because of the same size and charge, these get contaminated. Sometimes substitution of ions of similar size but differentiating in charge also takes place in the precipitation formation. So impurity have a similar chemical formula. They have given an example here, the barium sulfate and KMnO4. So this type of precipitation is known as mixed crystal formation. So this is what the co-precipitation. So here the impurity is normally present in the solution, and we didn't know that ions in that solution and precipitation takes place, and that contamination is known as a co-precipitation. So because of the surface phenomena in occlusion, the co-precipitation takes place. Surface phenomena is nothing but adsorption of one ion on another ion, and occlusion is nothing but impurity is trapped within a pocket of that crystal formation process. So the second is a post-precipitation. So the impurities formed during the precipitation is because of the post-precipitation also. So precipitation of an impurity which occurs on the surface of the first precipitate after appreciable time is known as post-precipitation. Means initially the precipitate is formed, and on that precipitate the impurity is going to adsorb. That is known as a post-precipitation. The primary precipitate actually becomes the nucleus for the post-precipitation of the impurities from their supersaturated solution. For example, in the precipitation of calcium as oxalate in presence of magnesium, calcium oxalate forms primary precipitate. So during the precipitation of calcium as oxala in presence of magnesium, calcium oxala forms primary precipitate. The solution becomes supersaturated with respect to magnesium ions. which now precipitate on the precipitate of calcium oxalate. So here, initially the calcium oxalate is formed as the primary precipitate. On that, magnesium oxalate is formed. To remove the contaminants, several steps are involved for the treatment of precipitates such as digestion, filtration, and washing. The third the third type of precipitation, because of that impurities entered, is a completion of precipitation. When the beaker containing the precipitate is allowed to stand in a water bath for digestion for some time, the precipitate settles down and clear solution is seen above the settled precipitate. Although the wall of the beaker containing the precipitate and the precipitant solution is slowly passed, if no precipitate formation is observed upon mixing of the two solution indicates the complete precipitation. When the beaker containing the precipitate is allowed to stand in a beaker in a water bath for digestion for some time, the precipitate settles down and clear solution is seen above the settled precipitate. So this is what the different types of impurities are formed because of different reasons, and that reason is post precipitation, co-precipitation.